Sister Spouse's genuine explanation, Kody Brown's cleaving down trees. During the most recent episode of Sister Spouses, Kody Brown can't avoid making a move to chop down a tree. While his monogamous spouse was concerned, Kody confronted his feelings of dread and brought down the tree. In any case, fans see the genuine explanation. Kody was hacking down trees, while Robin Brown waited patiently, scrutinizing his moves. Kody Earthy Colored's trimming tool treatment. In the most recent episode of Sister Spouses, Kody Brown required a little trimming tool treatment as Christine Earthy Colored Woolley and David Woolley were cheerfully skirting down the walkway. In spite of the fact that Kody concedes he didn't feel perfect while chopping down the trees, he continued to clear some space for Robin. Despite the fact that he had chopped down 1,000 trees, his sanity was on the brink of overload and he had a scary inclination something would turn out badly. At the point when Robin was making a difference, she expressed her monogamous decide that he needed to vow to tidy up the tree and not simply allowed it to set for 6 months. Likewise, Robin uncovered she has some trust issues with his tree cutting since he landed one on their home beforehand. Apparently, Kody required an interruption from pondering Christine continuing on, and he thought really difficult work was the response. In any case, during season 18, many fans made the association that trees are extremely representative in the Earthy Colored family. At the point when he decided to hack trees while examining Christine's wedding, it gave off an impression of being a message. Yet, different fans pinpoint an alternate explanation. They think Kody was eliminating trees. As indicated by Earthy Colored's book, Becoming Sister Spouses, Kody had a logging position for a brief time frame. Perhaps this piece of involvement and 3 spouses leaving drove him into the lucrative bearing like hacking down trees. Genuine explanation, Kody Brown is cleaving down trees. In spite of the fact that Kody Brown has discussed the amount more significant lush regions on Coyote Pass are, he actually slashes trees like a lunatic. On Reddit, Sister Spouses fans examine Robin and Kody chopping down trees and the thought process in doing as such. According to Initial, a client, Kody and Robin are cheats, they do it with an indifferent expression. Then, at that point, they add, gracious Kody is chopping down trees, bringing in large cash, supplanting the OG3 cash they lost. He and Robin are straight up hoodlums. Since Mary, Janelle, and Christine Brown have continued on, their tender loving care show cash has as well. Somebody conjectures they are making money from selling the trees. However, one more watcher explains it was on Robin's old manor property. They add, this is on their own property, not Coyote Pass, and it was on the grounds that the trees were impeding their view from their home. You can see that when they stand back toward the finish of the day, Kody Earthy Colored show how not to respond. Despite the fact that Kody Brown wasn't on Coyote Pass, fans actually think the scene was crazy. Whether he was making money or simply mollifying Robin by preparing for battle view, individuals think he was acting stupid with the hardware. In another Reddit, fans notice how bizarre the scene was out and out. What a hyper simpleton going around chopping down the tree. What's more, Robin showing Kody's real essence, letting him know that he can chop down each tree in turn and tidy it up so 6 months later it's not as yet laying there. Like the wrecked deck pictures in the land photographs, we can see he doesn't deal with things. What a moronic scene. This whole tree cutting fragment, as a matter of fact. Simply inept. What he did was hella risky. Beating a wedge into a tree with a running trimming tool that is stuck. He's a neurotic. Assuming that trimming tool had flown back at him, he'd be fortunate on the off chance that it hadn't killed him. I believe that is the reason he was shaken. He understood how close he came to catastrophe. That was quite sickening. Tender loving care truly ought to have posted a never at any point do this message on the screen. Too much work. In any case, other Sister Spouses fans examine the possibility of Kody Earthy Colored selling the trees. Another person brings up Kody probably won't be adequately brilliant to bring in cash off the trees. He is what my family calls an inept man kid. He needs to be an adult, however comes up short on abilities to really grown up. So he jumps at the chance to chop down trees, however, he doesn't have the foggiest idea what to do after he chops them down. What a numbskull. Does he not realize there are individuals who purchase those monstrous trees to make stumble, We have 10 sections of land and around 8 as trees, and when we want to get a couple out, we have a person who gets it done and he purchases the trees. It's financial aspects, pay them and sell them the trees, and you bring in cash. In any case, another fan thinks Kody ultimately finds time to sell. I figure he sells them after he strips them. According to Quite, another client, burls are immensely significant. The patriarch of the popular on the off chance that you really reality series Sister Spouses has frequently been at the focal point of contention for his way of behaving and perspectives toward his wives and family. As of late, Kody made a noteworthy confirmation that he flourishes with consideration, a quality that has molded a large number of his connections and choices all through the series. This statement offers fans new understanding into the intricacies of Kody's character and the difficulties his spouses have looked in their plural marriage. Kody's craving for consideration. Throughout the long term, Kody Brown has developed an awesome character on Sister Spouses. As the top of a plural family, Kody's job has forever been something beyond a spouse and father. He's considered himself to be a pioneer, middle person, and frequently the point of convergence of his relational peculiarities. In any case, Kody's new affirmation that he really wants a great deal of consideration has added one more layer to how fans might interpret his inspirations and the strain it's put on his connections. In an episode of Sister Spouses, Kody openly conceded, "I want a ton of consideration in my connections. It's exactly the way in which I'm wired. In the event that I don't feel esteemed or appreciated, it truly influences me." This assertion came as little amazement to watchers who have watched Kody's connections with his spouses, Meri, Janelle, Christine, and Robin, throughout the long term. The effect on his relationships. Kody's craving for consideration has frequently been at the base of his conjugal contentions. His associations with his 4 spouses have shown changing levels of association, for certain wives feeling profoundly ignored while others seem to get the overwhelming majority of his significant investment. Christine's takeoff. Christine, who left the marriage in 2021, has been vocal about feeling underestimated in her relationship with Kody. She often communicated that her necessities were not being met, prompting her choice to focus on her own satisfaction. Christine's takeoff denoted a critical second for the family, and many fans trust Kody's failure to concentrate entirely on the entirety of his spouses assumed a huge part. Janelle's battles. Janelle has likewise battled with Kody's consideration looking for nature. Known for her autonomous character, Janelle has frequently voiced her dissatisfaction over Kody's inclination to focus on himself over the aggregate necessities of the family. Meri's seclusion. Meri, the principal spouse, has ostensibly experienced the most Kody's lopsided dispersion of consideration. Their relationship has disintegrated fundamentally throughout the long term, with Meri frequently feeling detached and disregarded. Kody's requirement for approval appears to have conflicted with Meri's craving for a more profound close-to-home association. Robin's job. Robin, the 4th spouse, has frequently been named the number 1 by fans, as Kody seems to invest most of his significant investment on her. While Robin has shielded Kody's activities, numerous watchers accept his emphasis on Robin has distanced different spouses. Fan responses. Kody's confirmation has started a flood of responses from Sister Spouses fans, a large number of whom feel that his requirement for consideration has been obvious all through the series. Via web-based entertainment, watchers have shared their considerations, with some blaming Kody for being narcissistic and others guiding out how this quality has contributed toward the family's breaks. One fan composed on Twitter, "Kody saying he really wants loads of consideration isn't a disclosure, it's affirmation of what we've been looking for quite a long time. The man needs to be the focal point of everything, and it's no big surprise the spouses are exhausted." One more remarked, "Kody blossoms with consideration, and it's unmistakable he's just blissful when things rotate around him. The issue is, that is not the way in which a plural marriage should work." The master plan. Kody's consideration looking for nature isn't simply an individual characteristic. A key issue has molded the elements of the earthy-colored family. In a plural marriage, the assumption is that the spouse will treat all wives similarly and encourage a feeling of solidarity inside the family. Notwithstanding, Kody's propensity to zero in on his own requirements has frequently upset this equilibrium, leaving a few spouses feeling ignored and unsupported. Kody's viewpoint. While Kody has confronted huge reaction for his confirmation, he has shielded his requirement for consideration as a characteristic part of his character. "I'm not saying I couldn't care less about my spouses or my family," he made sense of in a meeting. "However, I want to feel appreciated and cherished. That drives me." Kody has likewise contended that his job as the head of a plural family accompanies tremendous strain, and his requirement for approval is halfway a reaction to the difficulties he faces. Nonetheless, pundits contend that this viewpoint neglects to represent the profound cost his way of behaving has taken on his spouses. The spouses' viewpoints. Kody's spouses have each answered his conduct in their own particular manners. Christine's flight is maybe the most sensational illustration of a spouse declining to endure the unevenness any longer. In the meantime, Janelle has kept a common-sense methodology, frequently focusing on her freedom over looking for Kody's consideration. Mary, then again, has communicated a profound feeling of misfortune over the condition of her relationship with Kody. In spite of her endeavors to reconstruct their association, she has frequently been met with apathy from Kody, further featuring the effect of his consideration looking for nature. Robin has shielded Kody, contending that his requirement for consideration is an impression of his craving to feel associated with his loved ones. Be that as it may, her nearby bond with Kody has filled hatred among different spouses, making further pressure inside the family. The job of unscripted television. Kody's confirmation likewise brings up issues about the impact of unscripted television on his way of behaving. As the star of Sister Spouses, Kody has spent north of 10 years at the center of attention, which might have intensified his requirement for consideration. A few fans conjecture that Kody's job as the focal figure of the show has made it hard for him to step back and focus on his spouse's necessities over his own. Pushing ahead. As the earthy-colored family keeps on exploring their broke connections, Kody's confirmation reveals insight into one of the fundamental issues inside their plural marriage. While certain fans hold out trust for compromise, others accept that the harm brought about by Kody's consideration looking for conduct might be unsalvageable. Eventually, Kody's requirement for consideration features the intricacies of plural marriage and the difficulties of offsetting individual necessities with the aggregate prosperity of the family. Whether the Browns can figure out how to reconstruct their connections is not yet clear, yet one thing is sure, and Kody Brown has wound up at the focal point of serious hypothesis. Fans are currently recommending that the pressure and strain of his broke connections and family unrest might be pushing him toward a mental meltdown. As his once brought-together plural marriage disintegrates, watchers have seen concerning changes in Kody's way of behaving, igniting conversations about his psychological and profound state. The downfall of the earthy-colored family. Kody Brown entered the unscripted television world with the objective of displaying the advantages of plural marriage. Be that as it may, as the years passed, the breaks in his family structure turned out to be progressively obvious. Christine Earthy-Colored's takeoff in 2021 denoted a significant defining moment, and strains with his different spouses, Mary, Janelle, and even Robin, have additionally disentangled the relational peculiarity. Fans have seen that Kody gives off an impression of being battling like never before in ongoing seasons. His dissatisfactions, explosions, and whimsical way of behaving have persuaded numerous to think he's wrestling with the profound cost of letting completely go over the family he endeavored to assemble. Indications of stress. Kody's new conduct on Sister Spouses has raised warnings for watchers who feel he's showing indications of intense pressure. A portion of the key minutes fans highlight include successive eruptions. Kody's attitude has been on full presentation in late episodes, with warmed contentions among him and his spouses, especially Janelle, turning out to be more continuous. His powerlessness to keep calm during conversations has persuaded fans to think he's overpowered and genuinely depleted. Unpredictable independent direction. Kody's way to deal with settling family clashes has showed up progressively conflicting. From compelling his spouses with comply to his severe standards during the coronavirus pandemic to multiplying down on his associations with Robin while dismissing others, his activities have filled the discernment that he's battling to adapt. Actual appearance. A few fans have brought up that Kody's actual appearance has changed perceptibly. They guarantee he shows up more worn out, rumpled, and matured, which they characteristic to the gigantic pressure he's under. Proclamations about feeling caught. In late episodes, Kody has offered remarks recommending he feels caught and unsupported. He's bemoaned the breakdown of his family and communicated disappointment at what he sees as an absence of faithfulness from his spouses. Fans' responses. The possibility that Kody might be encountering a mental meltdown has gotten momentum via online entertainment, with fans dissecting his every word and activity. Stages like Reddit and Twitter are buzzing with speculations about his psychological state. One fan expressed, "Kody is disentangling just before our eyes. He's failed to keep a grip on the family, and it's unmistakable he doesn't have any idea how to deal with it." One more remarked, "It's like he's having an emotional meltdown joined with a breakdown. The pressure of all that self-destructing is a lot for him to make do." Others have communicated compassion toward Kody, recognizing that while his way of behaving has frequently been troublesome, he's as yet an individual wrestling with tremendous strain and misfortune. Contributing variables. A few elements might be adding to Kody's obvious close-to-home battles. Christine's flight. Christine's choice to leave the plural marriage broke Kody's vision for the family as well as constrained him to defy his inadequacies as a spouse and father. Her joy post-split fills in as a conspicuous difference to Kody's ongoing battles, adding to his feeling of misfortune. Pressures with Janelle. Kody's relationship with Janelle has become progressively stressed, with the two oftentimes conflicting over issues like monetary autonomy and devotion. Janelle's solid-willed nature has made her less inclined to take special care of Kody's requests, making extra struggle. Mary's distance. While Mary remains lawfully wedded to Kody, their close-to-home association has been basically non-existent for a really long time. Her choice to remain in the family notwithstanding their wrecked relationship has added one more layer of intricacy to Kody's life. Strained to keep up with appearances. As the substance of sister spouses, Kody has for quite some time been feeling the squeeze to extend a picture of solidarity. The public investigation that accompanies being an unscripted television star probably worsens his pressure, particularly as watchers progressively censure his activities. Bias toward Robyn. Kody's cozy relationship with Robyn has distanced different spouses and their kids, making a gap inside the family. While Robyn remains his essential emotionally supportive network, fans hypothesize that even she might be feeling the kind of their undeniably detached dynamic. The job of unscripted television. Kody's potential breakdown is additionally confounded by the tensions of unscripted TV. For more than 10 years, Sister Spouses has recorded the ups and downs of the earthy-colored family, uncovering their confidential battles to a worldwide crowd. The consistent spotlight might enhance Kody's pressure, leaving him little space to secretly deal with his feelings. Proficient understanding. Psychological wellness specialists frequently caution that delayed pressure, loss of control, and public investigation can add to profound breakdowns. Side effects, for example, mindset swings, crabbiness, and trouble adapting to change, large numbers of which Kody has shown, are normal signs of profound burnout. In the event that Kody is for sure encountering a breakdown, looking for proficient assistance could be a critical stage in tending to his battles. Treatment, stress the board strategies, and open correspondence with his family could assist him with recapturing a feeling of equilibrium. Could Kody at any point revamp? While fans guess about Kody's psychological express, the greater inquiry remains, might he at any point reconstruct his connections and re-establish some feeling of agreement inside his loved ones? The way ahead will probably require critical exertion, contemplation, and a readiness to change. Kody's capacity to recognize his part in the family's cracks could be a critical element in pushing ahead. Nonetheless, his new way of behaving recommends he's not yet prepared to take full responsibility, rather accusing others for the family's battles. A defining moment for sister spouses. Kody's potential breakdown addresses an essential second for sister spouses. The show, which started as a festival of plural marriage, has developed into a mind-boggling investigation of relational intricacies, self-awareness, and the difficulties of living legitimately. Fans keep on watching eagerly, contemplating whether Kody will figure out how to explore his battles or on the other hand assuming the tension will prompt further disentangling. Despite what occurs straight away, obviously the earthy colored family's process is not even close to finished.